Right, now let's continue our game of Morphy. We got up to about move. Which move did we get up to? It was round about move 9. Yeah, so let's take us through to this move 9 position. Okay, let's see. And then we've got a Philidor's defense, and Morphy opens the center, and black. Oops. It seems to have. Let's just restrain this machine. Okay, so what happened was black unwisely pinned with his bishop, and then he lost position in the center. So let's see. Bishop went here, and white took the pawn, and black then swapped. Why is it doing it so quickly? It seems to be taking. Okay, let's just see if I can. Right, okay, one move at a time. Okay, so white's threatening mate, and black blocked and defended. And then white's massive stroke here, queen b3, put black in a mess right away because white's threatening mate in 2. And there's another problem. There's the b7 pawn under attack. Something which people don't realize is that in the start position of the chess game, there are actually 4 pieces which are not protected. And in the opening stage, nobody's thinking about those 4 pieces because they're telling you to get your pieces out and control the center. But a very significant factor is all the 4 rooks are unprotected. And there are whole opening variations which are based on that fact, that the rooks in the corner are very vulnerable. For example, we'll look sometime at the England gambit, quite crazy opening, which has gained a lot of popularity among amateurs, though not with grandmasters. But this exploits the fact that the rooks in the corner are in danger. So white's queen is not only threatening the f7 square, but the b7 square, and then the rook on a8 is going to be vulnerable. So black did find a reasonable defense. If white took the pawn on b7 now, he could swap the queens by moving his queen. Let's do that just to show you what could happen. White plays queen takes b7, but black plays this defensive piece of tactics, a defensive fork rather than an aggressive fork, which checks the white king and attacks the queen. So white would have to swap the queens, but he would still be a pawn up with a very strong position. But at least black's rook in the corner is not going to die. So let's see if we can return to our position. So white decided to block off the check by moving his knight to c3. And black played this dual purpose move, which is to c6, which defended his pawn on b7 by opening the line of the queen. And the other thing was his pawn on c6 prevents the white knight coming into the center square at d5. So a very fine defensive move by black. And now white continues a la Morphy in this lightning development. Morphy has almost cleared the entire back row, and he's ready to castle. I think that's where we left the game. And the question I'd like to ask you here, so put your thinking caps on. What move would you play for black? Well, if you're familiar with the game, you'll know what black played. I want you to put yourself in black's shoes and think, what alternatives did black have in this position? Of course, if you haven't seen this game before, you might choose black's move. But it's certainly worth thinking about this position to understand what black's difficulties are. Well, the natural move is to play your knight from b8 to d7, and let's just give you 0 for that move. Again, that's could be slightly generous of me. So if you played knight bd7, then I suggest you get the book Play Like an Alien, because you'll need to study UFOs. Knight bd7, let's make that move on the board. Knight comes to d7. That's the move you want to make. You want to develop your pieces. But unfortunately, you're no longer defending the b7 pawn. So the white queen crashes in, and black's position is looking decidedly sick. Now, these small matters on the chessboard are vitally important for beginners to understand. And I do understand that also most of the people watching my display today are all grandmasters, because they clearly want to pick up some tips on my openings. But I have a duty to the 99% of people in the world who do not have the ability to play chess well. So maybe I can give you also tips. It is your duty as grandmasters to also share that knowledge with others. So I'm teaching you how to teach them. That is what's lacking in the chess world. We play chess, but we don't think that we should actually help others to learn this wonderful game. So I hope you'll listen to my evangelical moment and decide you, from now on, will teach at least one person to play chess a day. Okay? Now, so this knight bd7 is not quite a beginner's error. What about another problem? Maybe some of you thought, oh, let's play g6, because you think, I want to get my bishop out, because if I don't get my bishop out, I can't castle. So let's try g6, another logical thing that black would do. Black's still trying to follow opening rules. He's trying to clear his back row. He's trying to connect his rooks. So he plays g6. Good move, bad move? Oh, decidedly very bad. White now just diverts the black queen. And now, what will white play? Yeah, he's likely to win one of those super vulnerable rooks that we have noted in the corner, which is unprotected. So white crashes home again, and not for the first time in our analysis. Let's return. So we can see that black has got certain difficulties in this position in developing. He could also play his queen. So let's give you again 0 for g6. Actually 1. I'm going to give you 1 point for that, because white had to do a tactical maneuver to divert the queen. So g6 will get you 1 point. Another idea you could try is maybe play the queen to c7. I suppose you have to put up with the fact that white could then double your pawns by bishop takes f6. And that's, again, not an enjoyable position for black. He wouldn't have a safe king position. So queen c7, trying to get the bishop out, is a worthwhile plan. It doesn't work. So if you played queen c7, again, we're going to give you 1 point. It still doesn't seem to work. And so you can see black has certain difficulties in this position. You might have chosen h6 to drive the bishop away. But again, the bishop would take on f6. And it looks like you're going to either have to lose your pawn at b7 or put up with double pawns, a weak king's defensive position. So looking at black's choice of options in this position, it's not surprising black chose the move he did. Best I can see for black is probably knight to a6 here, hoping to go to c5. That would at least maybe force the white bishop to take the knight on. So possibly knight a6 is the best black can do, but he then has to put up with shattered pawns on the queen side, and still he hasn't got a good development. So I've gone into this in, I'm going to give you 2 points for knight a6. If anybody can think of a better move for black, I'd be interested. But it's remarkable that the difficulties black has got into in such short a time. So that's why it doesn't surprise us that black's actual move was to play b5. And now Morphy is at the crossroads of this game. See, if he retreats his bishop meekly, which 9 players out of 10 would do, then black has solved his problems, because he would now be able to play his knight to d7. And even the knight later is going to get to c5 and attack the queen. And the tables would rapidly be turning against white. But Morphy is not the greatest attacking player in the world for nothing. So let's see what he did. I want you to choose white's move now. Well, I've given you quite a lot of clues as to what white did, because I was pointing out that bishop retreat is not a good choice. So Morphy has got to actually now sacrifice, which he did. He cannot allow black to escape from his straitjacket. So give yourself 6 points for this tremendous move. Knight takes b5, and black takes on b5. Battle is now joined in earnest. Bishop now takes the pawn, check, and black blocks with his knight. Right, okay, so your turn again. We've got actually black really beautifully tied up. Our bishops are pinning both knights. How do we put extra pressure on the black position? Our bishop d5 instead of bishop takes b5. Was that bishop when he took the bishop? Oh, you mean winning the rook? Let's just retreat. Yeah. Yes. White played bishop takes b5 check. Yeah. Let's look at bishop d5, which is an exceedingly powerful move. Yes, because you're going to win the rook. This old tragedy, isn't it? That the rook in the corner is not protected. And not only is it not protected, it can't even move. I think black actually miraculously can stage a recovery here. He has his check with the queen. Queen b4 check. Let's say the queen takes. Yep. And now the bishop takes. Check. Now the pawn plays up to c3. So black looks still in a massive mess. He's got his rook attacked, and he's got his bishop attacked. But now the cavalry come to the rescue. So the knight is no longer pinned, So he can take the bishop. White will take back. And now black can rescue his bishop, maybe moving it to e7. And lo and behold, actually black's winning. So it just shows you how treacherous tactics are. If you want to get that extra ability in chess, then work very hard on the tactics. The two books we have available are The Two Birds with One Stone, which is the masterpiece by Wade Bottom Morrison, and there's, for example, Death-Defying Chess Positions. But did you notice how intricate the tactics was and how a position, in the space of a move, can change from winning to losing? So tactics after material chess is the most important thing, and obviously you have to be able to play material chess. But after you've acquired some proficiency at material chess, then you should go on to improve your tactics. And then finally, positional chess is important. Right, so we've dealt with bishop d5, but Morphy, of course, in a flash, Morphy does not make these materialist decisions. He's going to go for the king. He's going to go for the kill. So this is what happens. Bishop takes b5 check, and the black knight develops. Oops. Somehow we've moved on. I'm not sure what they're implying. Maybe they're trying to give you hints. But I would like you to decide what move you would play here. Yeah, just forget that computer glitch. Computers are not infallible. Okay, so what will you choose? Well, many players would actually play something like Queen A4. They'll give you 2 points for that. That's because they will tend to attack with the pieces they have available. Queen A4 trying to put more pressure on the position. Others would sort of wildly capture things. They might play bishop takes d7 check. Give you 1 point for that. Or bishop takes f6. Again, only 1 point. So you only exchange if you think you're going to get an advantage. But just capturing something for its own sake isn't necessarily going to give you a win. But the secret which Morphy is trying to impart is the ability to bring more pieces onto the field of action. And here we notice, in my earlier lectures, we were talking about how the rules of chess changed as soon as we got a strong queen. And as an attacking player, you wanted to get your players onto the field as quickly as possible. Therefore, the move pawn to e4, the first move pawn to e4, even though it recklessly exposes your own king, it does give you the opportunity to open the d or f files if black replies to the pawn to e5. And in this way, white's next move was the strongest. He played castles queenside. Now 6 points for that. This is really 3 moves in one. 3 moves in one, not 2. The first move is the king is put into safety. The second move, the rook is brought towards the center. But the third move is the rook is put on an open file. And this strategy was deployed by Morphy in earlier games when he played the king's gambit. When he played the king's gambit, he was often able to use the f file. Now playing against the Philidors, he's opened the central d file, and this rook has immediately taken advantage of it. If you played weaker moves like castles, would just give you 4 points. That does clear. Pardon? Castles on the king's side, yeah, 0-0. That would give you 4 points. If you played rook d1, would only give you 2 points. Though you haven't actually connected the rooks. And also, if you played rook d1, you have this old problem. So let's say you played rook d1, an amateurish move because you haven't made the maximum use of the castling rule. But once again, black has a way out. He can then swap the queens. Again, this is an important idea to remember. When you're under pressure, and you're under attack, try and swap the queen. So the queen coming to b4 would swap the queens and immediately diminish white's attack. In fact, white would probably not be winning now. He would just be a piece down after the rook went to d1, if black manages to swap the queens. So that shows conclusively that the move Morphy chose, which was to castle on the queen side, put the maximum pressure on the black game. Rook to d1. Now, that's what they say about development. When is development completed? They say it's when you've connected the rooks. But not really. You've also got to get the rooks into action by putting them on open files. So white is 99% developed. He just hasn't got his rook on h1 developed. But black, though he has the extra material, he is completely undeveloped. Look at his rook on h8, his bishop on f8, his king in the middle. His position is a mess. Black put up as good defense he could. He's threatened on d7 with the rook taking, so black defended. Oh, by the way, it's no use actually black castling his king into safety. Yeah? Supposing black castles his king into safety here. Oh yes. Sorry, we've got to make sure the white king is castled, and that's let's say black castles into safety. Would this be a good idea? Well, safety is a relative thing. I expect some of you might have noticed that white could now checkmate with bishop to a6 check. King goes to c7. Queen goes. So part of the castling formula is that the king is protected by pawns. Castling the queen side does not make the black king any safer. So black had to keep his king. Had to keep his king in the center. That's white now. He castles, and black puts up a doughty defense. Right. Now let's have another think. What are you going to do for white now? Now, the standard move would be to start to double the rooks. So if you played, say, rook d3 or rook d2, then we're going to give you 4 points. Because then, with this idea of rook d3, you now want to bring the other rook to back up. So doubling the rooks on the open file would be the plan. And then you would put intolerable pressure on the black position. It's quite possible you could win with that approach, though I'm not quite sure, because black would still have his defense of queen to b4, trying to swap the queens. So if black can get that defensive move in, he might yet survive. Now, what Morphy plays is a very interesting tactical device. He first sacrifices his rook on d7. Let's see how it looks like a temporary sacrifice. He plays rook takes d7. So 6 points for this move. Rook takes d7. Now this is a very instructive moment because black now takes back with the rook, and I'd like you to choose white's next move. Now, if you were rushing to get your material back by taking the rook, this would not be the best choice. Black could take back with the king or the queen. Possibly the king is right. I know his king's in danger, but you've got diminished attacking pieces. So at this point, you don't get your rook back. You just keep the attack in. So bishop takes d7 check, a materialistic move, gets you 2 points. But if you looked at your rook in the corner and played rook d1, that would be the finest move. Rook d1, 6 points. The important thing is the pinned rook cannot move, so black just has to suck up the punishment. Right, again defended well here. He played queen to e6, at least breaking one of the pins and also offering the exchange of queens. Okay, I'd like you to choose your move for white now. Well, you could play in pedestrian style by exchanging the queens. Queen takes e6 check, so 3 points for that, and then when black takes back, you can then take the knight. So you can play queen, takes e6 check, black takes your queen, you take the knight, and he takes the bishop. Then maybe you take with the rook with pretty good position. You should win this endgame because you're going to be pawns ahead with the better position. Morphy didn't choose this, so queen takes e6 will get your winning position. Now, another move you might try is to put the queen to a4. Again, trying to put the pressure on d7. Both these moves look very powerful. So we'll give 3 points for queen a4. But Morphy finds the most spectacular way to finish the game. Oops. Queen to e6. He sees a possible way to checkmate the black king. So what he played was bishop takes d7 check. So 6 points if you chose this move. Morphy's seen he can open a line decisively. Bishop took on d7. Black has to take with the knight. And it looks like white is seriously short of ammunition. But the last spectacular flourish wins the game. Can you spot what white did here? Well, you might have chosen rook takes d7. I will give you 3 points for that, but black could just take with the king, and you will not have enough to checkmate it. He could recapture with the king. Taking any other way, say, would lose the game. So rook takes d7-3, but no, Morphy, having disposed of most of his army, now gives away his queen. He plays queen b8 check. So 10 points if you saw this final destructive move. The queen to b8. And black has no choice. He must take the queen. Okay, are you going to resign in this position? I mean, you're quite a lot of pieces down. It looks like you're a queen and a knight behind. Though you have got 2 pawns. So queen and knight against 2 pawns. So choose your move in this position. Well, I hope you did see rook d8 checkmate. 6 points for this finish. With only 2 pieces left, Morphy has checkmated the king. 17 moves. What an amazing display of attacking play and of development. Morphy just needed one open file which he opened with d4 to use the devastating effect of the rook. So checkmate, we can say finally that Morphy has got all his chocolates out of the box, and only the toffee remains, the one that nobody wants to eat, which is the king on c1. So I think you can play through this game many times and learn the Morphy system of development. Outstanding play, an outstanding genius. Right, on we go to the next stage. So we'll have an opponent here. Not the bot this week, though she's gone up to 2700, so maybe we're going to have a go at the 2700 Beth bot, but not this week. Have we got an opponent?
Not yet.
Okay, we've got Sabir and 1958, so he's probably 60 years old, but his grade is 1949. So one of those is his date of birth. Right, now I think we better start. Okay, start aggressively. Knight f6. Okay. Provocative. G6. Right. Yep. Okay. We're going to play this one. So he has a fianchetto. I have a fianchetto. He's castled. Okay. We get a double fianchetto, right? Breaking up my pawns. Keep his rook out of the game. B6. Okay. What he did that for? C6. Right. Okay. We've got to somehow develop. Come on, little pawn. Bishop b7. His pawn is still pinned, but okay. Right, now his pawn is unpinned. Okay, good move. So made a strange move. Right. I think now I'm on the back foot, so I think I will have to play my pawn to f3. Queen b7, threatening my pawn. I should be able to castle to guard my pawn. So here's my bishop blocked in. D6. Well, we ought to do something about his bishop. Okay, we'll play the knight d4, trying to swap off his bishop. Knight c5. We don't need quite to swap the bishop yet. c8. I suppose we still don't need to swap the bishop. Maybe not. At some point we will need to exchange the bishop. Knight d5. Right, fantastic move. I think I've got to. Should I take? Okay, we'll take that way. Now, can we do this? We'll try it. Maybe it wasn't the best. Just notice. Yeah, he can play something. I will have the two bishops, but he'll have play. Knight a5 will be played. I've got to retreat. Queen a7. Mysterious queen move. Right. I think he's going to play b5 at some point. Well, I think I've got to get the rook out of the line of the bishop. b5. I could play c4. It's quite risky, but I've got to attack him somehow. Yeah, if he plays e5, that could give me problems. I could maybe go d5 against that. So that is might be in a problem position. Is he going to move back to b6? Could sacrifice a pawn. On c4. Okay, we should take the queen. Come on. Queen. Yeah. Back to b6. Okay, I think we should put the queen on c5. We should have a few weak pawns here. He has some difficulties. If he moves the knight, I take his queen. If he plays rook b8, then it looks like bishop 8 takes a5. Could be a small move. Okay, I think we'll have to. Oh, then he can at least get his. Oops. Yeah, looks like he might only lose a pawn. c8. Yep, if rook takes b8, you can take back with the queen. So I suppose we should take those off, the queens off. Can we limit his knight a bit? Yeah, so his knight hasn't got many squares now. What's he going to do? Okay. Try and get my A pawn. Yeah, maybe you can try. I thought he'd play rook a8, which he did. Bishop there. Okay, let's put the bishop there. Try and use these two bishops. Rook e8. Should we go bishop c5? But then he plays his. Play pawn to f4. This other bishop should start to squeak. Now if he moves his knight, I can force two rooks. That's clever. Where do they put the times? Oh yeah. Oh, he's got more time. Right. It's tricky to find a move for him. Quite threatening things. Bishop c5 and rook down to 7. Bishop f8. Okay, good defense. I think we should play the rook, bishop to c5. A bit more pressure on his position. e6. Well, I better make a decision. Yeah, let's put the rook on to c1. Very happy to exchange. So I'm trying to get the second pawn off him. Rook to b8. Okay. We'll take. And try this one. b7. Put my rook in the wrong position. Okay, let's move the rook down to a6. To c7. Putting up a stubborn defense. Okay, let's bring the king up. He's bringing his king up. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Pawn up. Knight to c8. Okay. Where should we go? Okay, am I losing on time? What is the time? It's still 2:20. Knight to there. Okay. Okay, we'll have to defend. Not a very smooth victory, this. Knight d6. Good move. Now he's going to get to c4. I think we'll have to push this little pawn before we lose it. Now he's threatening that one. Okay. Nasty. Could be. Yeah. Now he's threatening the rook. Can I get it forked terribly? F5. Right. Okay, hang on. Take pawn. Okay. Now push the pawn. Try to get some more passed pawns. Now maybe exchange. Yeah. What about getting another passed pawn? King c6 and another. Okay, you can win my pawn. It's looking quite strong. King b6. Let's push. Take. I think he's in Zulswine actually. Okay, we better just push. Okay, should we check? Should we push the pawn? Push the pawn, I think. Still looking promising. It's only got 39 seconds. Maybe that's not enough. You probably win on time, especially as my clicking isn't very fast. What's he going to do? Oh, he resigned. Wait, 39 seconds. That was very generous of him. He could have seen whether I could have mated him. So one more time. Right, okay. Nakamura. Uh-huh. Do we have a viewer who wants to play?
No.
Yeah?
They will play with them next time.
Right, okay.
Come through.
So,
Oh.
what's this?
It's one of these.
Atal. Okay, should we have him?
Accept.
Yes, okay, accept. Accept Atal. Right, okay. So he's white. We know Atal. Okay, let's see how it goes. So he's played g4. No, I have no defense against this move. Should I resign? Wait a minute. Is there any good line against this? Gosh, that's throwing me. What to do now? What to do now? Is there any defense to this move? I'll have to spend a long time working this one out. But, okay, let's play this. It's really disturbing. Now, okay, I think this is the only defense. There is no other defense. G5. Aha. And now, the killer. Yes. Okay. Bishop to B7. Bishop to there. Okay. I think B8 is the correct reply, because we have to make sure he doesn't take my rook. Knight F3. Yeah, okay. I was going to lose a pawn on C4. Daring me to play B5. I don't think B4 is going to be one. So we have to play C6. This play should be recommended for black. B1, great move. Okay, let's get sneaky. E3. Now I think he threatens a crusher. H4, H5. So I have to play myself. Come on. H5. A3. Come on. We're going to discombobulate ourselves. Right. He takes the initiative. I take the pawn. No, I don't think E4 is going to work. So I have to retreat. Yep. b3. Yay. I have to play something. I have to play f6. Get some play. Before he shoots me dead. Okay. Now what do I take with pawn or queen? I can take with the queen, goes there. I don't like that. Take with the pawn. I don't like that either. But I don't like anything, so I'm going to take with the pawn. Maybe the mistake of the game. Yeah, if he plays knight d2, I've got problems with my bishop. Is it going to work? Yeah, that's what I thought. I play f5, f3, takes. He just laughs at me. I think I could try this, but okay, we're going to try it. This is a move I'm going to regret. Or not. He goes f3, I might take on h4. Playing a bit of swindles. I could play c5 as well. F4. Which might be okay for me. Now, this is a decisive moment. He's gonna, maybe he's just gonna ignore me. I think he could play f3, takes, and then he uses king in the attack. Knight takes h4, pawn takes bishop, knight takes bishop, king f2, knight takes king takes knight d4, queen. Looks like a good attack. He's played that one. I was going to think of playing f3, f4. Is f4 any good? d5 is good as well. Okay, we go f4 just to see what happens. Can't take the knight with the queen because the bishop's guarding it. You could play bishop e4. I missed that. Bishop. No, I can then take on h4. So then you could play f3. Then we'll go for e4. I think that takes h4. Well, it's a bit complicated, this one. Bishop e4, yeah, the move I feared. Okay, we'll take that. Come on. Spend 6 minutes taking F3. Okay. Okay, we think we're going to take that one. We might get our knight into D4. That's going to work. The attack is cool. Takes the bishop. Goes to D4. Queen goes somewhere. We'll get the piece back, but still quite unclear. Anything could happen. It's not that easy, this position. He has done it. I think he had to do that. Okay, we're going to try and hit him with the knight. See what happens now. We'll put his queen somewhere. Can we get something in here? Can't see anything good. Goes queen a4. Could try queen back to d1. Expect that. Right. Now, what's that? Well, we've got 6 minutes. Plenty of time. But I don't really want to take his knight and free his pieces. Take his knight. Take the bishop. Okay. We attack the bishop. That might be the best. I've got 2 pieces. I'm attacking. He's played knight f3. Can I not check with the that's not going to work. Check with the knight. He was king to f1. Sorry, right. Need to think what to do. Check on g2 with the knight, king f1. I don't get a win there. Okay, let's just take the bishop as I come up with anything else to do. Maybe that was wrong. He can now take. Oops, he's played a good move here. Help. Now. Oops. Fair. Missed that one. We play queen f6. Okay. Queen f6. Oh, now he plays bishop takes pawn. All going. Oh, he's taken. It's all going pear shaped. Help. Definitely pear shaped. Yeah, still going completely pear-shaped. F1, we have to play the queen. H2, rook F1 was the best. H2, I'm threatening knight C2 check now. Queen, just lose all my pieces at the same time. Bishop takes E3. Knight C2, I win his queen, and then he kind of murders me. Well, maybe not. Now what's going to happen? Oof. We'll have a few good threats here. Play bishop A3. Anything else? Seconds he's got. Now he's got 25 for a countdown. 21, 20, 19, 17, 16 points. Oops, he resigned. I was lucky. I was, yeah. I made a couple of mistakes there, but great game. Thanks. That was tense.